If you built it, if you coded it, if you slept on its floor for 4 years, what percent of your own company do you think you own? What number would it take to make you sign? 80%, 50, 10. When the deal is done, who do you blame? The investors, the lawyers, or the face in the mirror? Could you watch strangers celebrate the sale of the thing you built and still shake their hands? Would you take what they gave you and the very next morning start over? Palo Alto, February 1999. This is Elon Musk. He is 27 years old. Today, a single piece of paper will decide the rest of his life. He will not be angry, he will not argue, he will do the math in his head and sign. The answers start here, with one pen, and a decision already made 3 years ago. Previously on Elon, First Principles. At 12, $500 from a video game. At 23, building a company from a sleeping bag on an office floor. At 24, $3.6 million from a venture capital firm. In exchange for that capital, the investors took equity, board seats, and eventually control. By the time Compaq came calling, Elon Musk didn't have the votes to decide what happened to his own company. 5:47 in the morning. Palo Alto, California, February 1999. In a small kitchen on the second floor of a building nobody will remember, a man is sitting alone. He has read the page beneath his hand so many times, he has stopped turning it over. In 4 hours, he will sit down in a conference room across town and sign his name on a document that will close one of the largest internet deals of the year. His brother is calling. Kimbal knows what today is. He is calling to check on him.
I already know what I'm going to do. I decided this 3 years ago. Picking up the phone doesn't change the math.
He folds the page, he puts it in his coat. He does not need to read it again. Most people on the day they sell a company prepare a speech, call their family, cry a little, laugh a little. He ties his tie. Watch this morning carefully, because everything you need to know about Elon Musk is already in this kitchen. The cold coffee, the folded page, the phone he didn't answer. He sits in the car for a long moment before putting it in gear. Not because he is afraid, because he is running the math one more time, and the math has not changed. In 4 hours, he will sign. In 4 years, he will have turned what's left into something you already know his name for. But to understand the math he's about to sign, you have to go back 1 year. To a company that was winning. Let's rewind. Late 1998. Zip2 is thriving. The company Elon and his brother Kimbal built from nothing, an online city guide helping newspapers put their business directories on the internet, has real clients. The Chicago Tribune, the New York Times, traffic is growing, revenue is growing, and the phone is ringing. Not from a customer, from a buyer. Compaq is one of the biggest computer companies on the planet. They want to buy Zip2 outright, all of it, cash deal.
307 million. Cash. No stock swap. No earnout. This is the cleanest exit I've seen in 5 years. We take this deal today.
I don't have the votes, I built the product. I wrote the first lines of code. I slept on the floor of this office for 2 years, and I don't have the votes.
You already know the math. 7%, 22 million. The lesson cost him $285 million to learn. Tonight isn't about the lesson. Tonight is about whether he was actually going to use it. February 1999. Compaq completes the acquisition. $307 million. Cash, the money flows. And Elon Musk, age 27, receives $22 million.
Congratulations, it's been a productive negotiation. We're excited to bring Zip2 into the Compaq family.
Thank you, we appreciate the partnership.
That night, Elon sat with Kimbal, just the two of them.
$22 million, Elon. We're 27 years old. We started this thing with nothing. We literally showered at the why I think. I think this is the part where we celebrate.
You're right, it's a lot of money. It's more money than most people will ever see.
But
I keep running the math. 7%. If I'd held just 20%, 61 million. If I'd structured it differently from the start, if I'd understood what I was giving away when I was giving it away. I'm not upset about the 22 million. I'm upset about the lesson it cost me to learn.
and what's the lesson?
Never lose control. Ownership is control. Equity is control. Percentage is everything. The next company I build, I will never let this happen again.
The next company. Elon, the ink on this deal isn't even dry.
I know. I already have the ideas.
If this is clicking, follow budget sketch. The lesson tonight isn't the 7%. It's the 24 hours after, because what most people miss is the part that comes next. Here's something they don't put in the headline. $22 million is not the number that lands in your account. In 1999, federal long-term capital gains tax was 20%. That's the first cut. 20 cents off every dollar gone before he sees it. California treats capital gains as ordinary income. That's another 9.3%. By the time the state is done, 22 million is closer to 15. Roughly $15 million. Liquid, real, after tax. That is the actual number he had to make a decision with. Meanwhile, what happened to Zip2? Compaq folded it into their search division. A product called Alta Vista, same product, new owner, new plan. Within 24 months, the contracts started slipping. The newspapers started leaving. The product Elon had built was no longer the product anyone was using. 3 years after the deal, Compaq itself was acquired by HP. The Zip2 product line was discontinued. The thing he built no longer existed. Read that again. He gave up control to keep it alive. The people who took control killed it anyway. He was right about the product, about the direction, and being right was worth 0 votes. He didn't know any of that on the night he sat with Kimbal in that bar, but he could already feel it coming, which is why, when most people in his shoes would have stopped, he didn't. A few nights later, same apartment, the check has cleared, the bank statement is real, and he is sitting at his desk alone with a blank notebook open.
Option 1, I stop. 15 million in index funds at 8% gives me 1.2 million a year. Forever, I never have to work again. Option 2, I slow down, buy a house, buy a car, take a year off, come back when I feel like it. Option 3, I take what's left and I put it back in, all of it, or almost all of it, into the next thing.
His mother told him to be careful. His brother told him at least keep half safe. His financial advisor, the one his money now required him to have, begged him not to.
A comfortable life is not the prize. The prize is the next thing I get to build, and the lesson from Zip2 is worthless if I don't apply it. This time I keep majority. This time I keep the board. This time the votes are mine, and to do that I have to fund it myself.
This is the moment most founders never reach. Not because they don't want to, because they spend the first check on a life that makes the second bet impossible. He wrote down a number that night, most of what he had, more than half of what he had after taxes, and he was about to put all of it into something nobody believed in. 1 month later, March 1999, he had not bought a house, he had not taken the year off, he had not even moved out of his rented apartment. Instead, he had taken most of what he had left, and he had walked it into a bare office with a single whiteboard and an idea that 19 of 20 people he told it to said would not work. Most people, when they get a check at 27, buy something they can hold. A house, a car, a year of nothing. He bought a problem, the hardest one he could find. What he chose to build, why everyone in his life thought he was wrong, and what happened when he was right, that's next. Follow budget sketch and tell me, if you had 15 million in the bank at 27, would you bet most of it on the next idea? Or would you sit still, drop it below? I read every single one. This is Elon, First Principles, I'm Alina, and the bets are about to get much, much bigger. Episode 5 is right here, the most contrarian financial bet of his career. The one nobody asked him to make. I'll see you there.